In the plant profile series of videos, today we will look at a cauliflower variety that's called the White Cloud Hybrid. So we will be using a whiskey barrel container to plant our cauliflower seedlings, and the reason I use a whiskey barrel container is because it has a lot of area around the surface, and cauliflower seems to grow very well in this kind of a container. So the White Cloud Hybrid from Bonnie Plants is a cauliflower variety that's easily available in your local garden stores and is a variety that's specifically bred for getting a nice cauliflower head while being resistant to insects and diseases. You need nice, well-draining soil for plants like cauliflower. So as I've been doing container gardening, I've learned over the years that soil porosity as well as drainage is really the key to growing really good plants in containers. To improve soil drainage and porosity, you can add a lot of good things to your potting mix like perlite or vermiculite, or start with a good quality potting mix. And not only do these things improve drainage, they also allow a lot of air to reach around the roots, which helps in very healthy roots and plants in general. So I had initially planned to plant 4 of these cauliflower seedlings in this whiskey barrel container, and that was actually a mistake because this variety of cauliflower grows so big and has such large leaves, as you will soon find out, that you can actually grow 3 or maybe even 2 in a whiskey barrel container of this size. Now, the roots for these cauliflower plants are not very deep. However, the surface area required is pretty large for these plants. So in about 10 days from planting your seedlings, the cauliflower seedlings would have grown a little larger, and at this stage it's very important to feed them with a good all-purpose fertilizer. I used a water-soluble all-purpose fertilizer to feed my cauliflower plants, and this is really a critical stage because if you don't feed your plants very well at this stage, they will not take off very well, and then they will be sluggish throughout their growing season. So this is a good time to add fertilizer. If your potting mix already has fertilizer, you do not need to add it, but you make sure you water your plants very well during these early stages as well. 60 days since planting, the plant has become really big. As you can see here, you can really start seeing some definition. I actually had to remove one of these plants from the container because they had grown so big that it would not really accommodate them. In about 90 days since planting, the plants keep growing bigger, and at about 90 days you need to again add a fertilizer schedule. You can either use a slow release fertilizer in the beginning, or if you're using liquid fertilizers or water soluble fertilizers, it's a good time to re-fertilize and revitalize your soil. If you're using organic fertilizers and rock dust, make sure you side dress your plants at this stage. So finally, at about 105 days, you can see the head of your cauliflower, also called the gourd of the cauliflower. And as you can see, the White Cloud Hybrid cauliflower is pretty resistant to almost any insects. I did not see any insect damages. I did not use any kind of insecticides or pesticides, neem oil, soap, nothing. And I can not see a single insect on this plant. And this is why this hybrid really excels. It is very resistant to any insects or diseases. That's a very good point in my opinion, because you do not have to really take care of your plants that much. So it's now been 112 days since we planted these seedlings, and you can see that the head of the cauliflower now shows a lot of definition, and it's now a good time to harvest the head. So let's go ahead and harvest this one. now that we have harvested our cauliflower, I wanted to show you how the florets look like. They're pretty nice and firm as I'm cutting them. So that means that this hybrid is pretty good when it comes to the quality of the vegetable itself. Alright, it's now time for me to share my favorite cauliflower recipe with you. So as you can see, I have taken a pan, I've added about a couple of teaspoons of oil. You can use any oil that you want. I'm adding some mustard seeds here, and I'm gonna wait a little bit till the mustard seeds start sputtering. And I'm adding some cumin seeds, and I'll let it brown a little bit. You don't want to wait too long, just a little bit is okay. And once that's done, you can add the cauliflower florets. I'm using that one cauliflower that we harvested just now, and I'm using that for this recipe. And once you've added the cauliflower florets, or the parts of the head, just mix it a little bit. Make sure the oil sticks to all sides of the cauliflower. And remember, this is a pretty simple recipe, and it's one of the most staple Indian cooking recipes that is used with vegetables. And after you've stirred the cauliflower, you need to add some turmeric powder. I'm adding about a teaspoon of turmeric powder, which will also impart it a yellow color. Some chili powder if you like it spicy. If you do not like it spicy, you can skip the chili powder. It's gonna taste just as good. And then what I'm gonna do is add some salt to taste. Now how much salt you want to add depends on how you want your cauliflower, how salty you want your cauliflower. I'm just gonna eyeball it and add some salt, and then mix it really well. Now this kind of cauliflower recipe is actually very good for your health, because the combination of turmeric and cauliflower is really healthy for you. So it's a really good thing to eat once in a while. If you like it, you can eat it every day. It's up to you. I really love cauliflower, so I eat cauliflower at least about 2 to 3 times a week. And in about 20 minutes or so, your florets would be cooked. Now I like my florets to be a little undercooked, like a little crunchy and a little semi-cooked kind of texture. And what I'm gonna do now is add some diced potatoes. Now if you have fresh potatoes, that's the best way to use it. I do not have any fresh potatoes with me, so I'm going to use some diced potatoes, which is nothing but just potatoes that are chopped into cubes. And what I'm going to do is just mix it in very thoroughly with the cauliflower. Now the reason I added potatoes later is because the potatoes cook very quickly compared to the cauliflower, especially because they are diced. And that means that after both these vegetables are cooked, they will be pretty consistent as far as texture goes. So that's how a cauliflower looks like once it's done. You can cook it as much as you like it to be cooked. So here is a summary of the plant profile for the White Cloud Hybrid Cauliflower. And I hope you liked this episode of watching the profile of the White Cloud Hybrid Cauliflower, and I hope you enjoyed the recipe as well. I'll see you again soon. Until then, happy gardening.